Indonesia, the country with the fourth largest population in the whole world, which had an equivalent to 250 million people, had one key issue: bad traffic. And this was down to two different factors. The first factor being the high population, which led to high density of people living in urban areas. And the second factor was the poor transport infrastructure that was let down by the government. This key problem led to an opportunity to whoever could solve this first. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what GoJek has done by introducing a platform that connected traditional ojeks, motorcycles, to customers who are looking for affordable, reliable, and efficient modes of transport to get around the hustle and bustle of Indonesia. We have seen GoJek expand from not only offering transport in its initial phase, but to slowly grow and touch different points of a customer's life through their Go Life initiative, which offered things such as Go Massage, Go Clean, and Go Tickets, which allowed customers to get massages, cleaning services, and also ticketing services all directly from this app. With all these things introduced, we see that GoJek is slowly coming to a point of maturity in the Indonesian market, and it has come to a question that we would like to answer today. That question is, where should GoJek place its next bet for its hyper-growth phase? Ladies and gentlemen, we are from Team UCSI, and today we would like to propose what GoJek, or where GoJek should place its next bet for its next phase of hypergrowth. We were given three different options for this question. The first option was to expand the different services that they currently have on their GoJek platform. Things may include giving tuition or giving haircut. The second option that we were given was to expand regionally to different areas of Indonesia, which included the suburban areas. The third option, or the most ambitious one, was to expand globally to different developing countries that matches the same environment that we currently have and operate in Indonesia. So, at a first glance, we decided to analyze all these three options and decided to come up with its pros and its cons for each of these options. In option 1, the main pro that we had was the good for expanding its services was that we already had a strong brand recognition. Therefore, if people were to use the different services that we provide, people will be able to trust that, as we have a very high customer satisfaction rate when they use our Go Live services. However, the cost of doing that was that the risk of having low quality services was quite high, because it meant that we had to retrain people and re-standardize the certain methods that we have put out. The second thing is that we had to also get partners on board this solution, which meant high cost in terms of time and money again, as we have to gain more partners onto the Go Live services. The second option in terms of pros and cons, which is to expand regionally, was that we will be able, in terms of pros, we will be able to establish ourselves as a dominant platform in Indonesia. However, the cons with that also comes back to the high cost that relates to this move. It meant that we had to spend more time, more money into building up this platform and marketing it and building awareness to reach the different consumers outside of the 14 cities that we currently operate in. The third option, which is to expand globally, allowed us to touch into different markets that matches the same criteria, which also meant getting more customer data that will be able to fuel our information strategy. And also, we were able to leverage on our core competencies, which is technology. We have a very strong backend, and therefore we can rely on it. However, the biggest con with this problem was that is the cost. Expanding to a different country means setting up everything from the beginning again, which also meant building up awareness, building up marketing to gain that brand recognition. All this brings down very high costs. But despite these pros and cons that we have a few criteria that we have made in order for us to choose the best option for us to place our next bets on. So let's talk about the criteria that we have set out in order to decide which option best suits our next phase of growth. We have three main criteria. The first one being the financial impact towards the company, and this can be broken down into two different things: the impact it has on our revenue growth, and also the impact it has in terms of CAPEX, CALTEX, and OPEX, which are capital expenditure and also operational expenditure. The second criteria that we have for choosing our strategy is also broken down into two different parts: the risk and implementation of that option, and also the internal capabilities or strengths that we have as GoJek that we can leverage on. The third criteria is exponential growth. And what it means by this is that what we can expect in terms of customer data and also the customer reach that we can obtain by choosing these options. With that in mind, the one that has stood out to us the most is option 3, and the reason is because we will be able to score very highly in terms of customer data, customer reach, and also the revenue growth. We expect high returns from all these three different things. However, this benefits overplays the cost, which is the high requirements needed for CALTEX and also OPEX. Due to these reasons, we have decided that we will be going on with option 3, which is to expand globally into a different country that matches the same environment that we are currently operating in.